And welcome to ESO Weekly's Friday's discussion show. Is that what we're calling it or something?
Sure. Why
Okay,
not?
cool.
Yeah. Alright, so we got several topics to go over today, starting with Synergized combat,
Woo!
and then moving on to enemy AI,
Ah!
and then finishing it off with a first-person update on that whole front.
Teehee?
You're running out of things. Alright, so starting with Synergized combat. Alright, first of all, that's an awesome word, synergy. It can sound cool, but what is it, Kyle? What is synergy?
Synergy is very close to the combo system you see in Guild Wars 2. So basically, you can, say for example, put down some kind of fire ring or something on the ground. A warrior can then go into that fire, because it won't burn them, because there's no friendly fire or anything. And then they will have the ability to, I believe they said, like, a warrior can just start throwing fireballs and stuff, or shooting through their swords or something like that.
All sorts of neat, crazy stuff.
So yeah, that's basically an example of synergy.
So yeah, synergy is the reward you get for effectively teaming up with other players in the game.
Yep.
So laying down combos, like Kyle said, you know, you could have a mage lay down that, you know, like a frost rune on the ground or something, have a thief put a trap on top of that, and yeah, it'll build synergy for you. And then what happens once your synergy bar, I don't know if is it a bar, is that how it's being measured? I don't think we know.
I don't think there's a bar, per se.
Anyway, when your synergy fills up, there'll be a prompt, right?
Yeah. You hit the X key.
The X key, and that executes all your synergy, which, from what I read, it can do like a cripple or something. It'll cripple enemies and stuff like that.
It's probably based upon what the synergy is itself based on. Like what was the base spell that was used, and then what is the spell that the person is initiating it using. It's probably different effects you can see.
Yeah. So, like you said before, it's similar to Guild Wars, where it's combos, basically. It's combo attacks, but you're getting the extra reward of synergy. In Guild Wars, the only incentive is that you're doing the combo attack for more damage, and they're getting cool little effects and stuff. But on top of that, you'll be building synergy. And I'm really excited about this synergy thing, because basically what it'll do, like I said before, it'll reward you for playing with other characters, and playing with other characters well, and knowing your class. And it'll feed into the whole thing where, like, say, you know, a Dragon Knight that has good knowledge about their classes and knows how to build synergy off of allies will play better and be an effective, all-around effective player, rather than just the Dragon Knight with the better gear.
Yeah,
you know?
So it's like we've been saying, this game is very skill-based, and we don't mean skill as in the different kind of skills you have, but the player and how much skill they have.
Yeah, and how competent they are as players, which is great. Yeah, whenever you're taking power away from just a numbers game and giving it to the power of, okay, this player he knows his shit, you know, that's appreciated, and that's one of the reasons I'm excited for the whole synergy thing.
And then also with the whole synergy thing, you know, the better you play, use your synergy and everything, that'll also fill your finesse meter quicker too, which will allow you to unleash your ultimates more often. So again, just more damage and playing your class better.
Yeah.
That may also mean more experience as you're leveling as well.
Yeah, you know, they talked about the more effective you play your class, the more XP bonuses you're going to get. You know, and it's all part of ZeniMax's, they want to encourage you, you know, like a good MMO should, they want to encourage players to team up together. You don't have to, but you're going to be more effective if you cooperate with other players.
Yeah, and you may find times that you need to, because mobs can be very tough. So if you do have a much harder mob,
like a mud crab, you know, like if you're fighting a mud crab, you're going to need backup.
Only the one with the monocle and the top hat, though.
Yeah, those are the elite ones.
Yeah,
they're elitist.
If you do have a harder one, you may find it almost necessary to have synergy among your group to take it down, or at least it'll make it extremely easier.
Yeah. So it's there's definitely parts of this synergy thing that I don't completely understand yet, just because of lack of information on it.
I don't think any of us do until we actually go out and do it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Sounds cool. Has a cool name.
Yep.
And I'm excited for it. All right, and then we know enemy mobs will actually have the power to use synergy too and combos, and that's actually going to move us perfectly. If you like this transition, perfectly into our next topic, which is enemy AI.
Enemy AI.
Which what does that mean? What is enemy AI?
Well, artificial intelligence, of course, the coding that enables them to act with some form of intelligence, so they're not just standing still letting you beat the crap out of them. They're actually working together to effectively kill you as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of an example to make it super simplistic. Okay, we're attacking a mud crab. I'll go back to the mud crab thing. You shoot a fireball at a mud crab, and he's coming at you. Stupid enemy AI would just have the mud crab walk directly at you as you're hurling fireballs at it.
Take the hit.
And just take the beating. Now, intelligent AI would have the mud crab go, okay, this mage is throwing fireballs at me. Maybe I want to walk all zigzaggy and, throw him off. So that's the difference between intelligent AI and pitiful, terrible AI. And, ZeniMax Online Studios is actually taking special attention in making sure that enemy AI in this game will be challenging for us as players.
Very. Because we know that enemies themselves also use synergy. We've heard pretty much the same example from 15 different people with the whole, what are those Dwemer spiders?
The Dwemer spiders,
yeah. They, one can put up some kind of electric field around it, which will supercharge it, but then you'll see other Dwemer spiders in the area start running towards that spider and charge themselves up as well.
Yeah, so they'll all buff and get powerful.
Yeah, and you'll see them start glowing and stuff, and then they'll be able to do a lot more damage.
Uh-oh.
So you're like, oh crap. So yeah, you'll see synergy with enemies as well, not just you.
So enemies, just like real players, will know to team up with each other because they'll be more effective that way. And not only that, but they'll know, and we've talked about this previously in our previous videos, they'll change their combat strategy based on who they're fighting and how your style is. So they'll fight a melee character differently than they'll fight that ranged character.
Yeah, they'll try to pull you in or something like that. They'll scan your whole entire party really to see what you have available and how they can counter pretty much anything you do. So we're going to be seeing hopefully very intelligent AI in this game.
Yeah, and it's so important because, and I've said this previously, having intelligent enemies that you're fighting. I mean, a majority of your time usually spent in this game is
leveling and everything. Is fighting
mobs.
Yeah.
And so you want it to be engaging and you want it to be challenging, and that's what keeps you entertained and hooked into a game, from start to finish. And so it's a big difference. I mean, it was a massive difference playing Guild Wars 2 for the first time. Mm-hmm. I realized, I'll take an example, like a warrior, like my Char warrior. I would do my 100 Blades ability that would it devastates. For those who don't know, 100 Blades is just this ability that you pop and anything in front of you is dead. It dies. It's a very high damaging ability. So when I actually triggered that on a mob for the first time, I was expecting him to just stand there and take it like a man. But no, he was smart. He moved the hell out of the way like an actual player would. Which, enemy AI is it's very important, and I'm glad that they took special time to let us know that it's something that they're working hard on getting right.
I know, I'm definitely looking forward to that first time I walk into an instance, like a raid or something like that, and then you'll see one mob spot you, they blow a horn, and then a bunch of the mobs that are within that whole entire room start running and rushing you guys and are going to try to kill you.
Oh yeah.
Immediately. That'll be fun to see, because, every other MMO pretty much, you can pull groups separately and everything. You can
totally
say, okay,
incompetent.
you thief, go over there and sap it first, and then we'll have another person put some kind of stun lock on another guy,
just
and then
going
you can
through
take
the
out one guy.
motions.
You're not going to be able to do that in this game. It's going to be much more challenging.
Yeah, I mean, how unrealistic was that you have this room full of mobs, but they're in perfectly situated in groups of 3. If you played WoW, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And
they're
you can
perfectly situated.
Yeah, and you can see the other group standing over there, and they don't do anything.
Their buddies are right nearby,
getting massacred, and they just
sit there. Yeah, it's dumb. So yeah, enemy AI is important for multiple reasons. You know, like I said, it keeps you engaged, and it just adds a layer of realism too. You know?
Yep.
Having stupid enemies is an immersion breaker when it boils down to it. Alright, so we wanted to give you guys all an update on the whole first-person front, for those who are interested in that. I think we were definitely heard on their Facebook and Twitter and stuff.
A bit.
Which is great. And they actually, my hat's off to ZeniMax, because they got back to us, like, within, I think, like, 4 hours of when that episode released, and we all started, you know, letting them know that first person's important to us. Several podcasts have covered this. It just so happened that day we covered it, and Jesse and Force covered it too. So that definitely helped get the voices out there, and we were most definitely heard because ZeniMax did respond quickly, and like I said, hats off to him for it, because I mean, I played MMOs in the past where developers don't keep a good open communication. Yeah, and just Guild Wars 2 was really the first MMO where I played where their communication was some of the most, like, excellent around.
They really, especially with their whole beta testing and everything like that, which we were both in, and they would have questionnaire for, like, every single quest you did, and wanted to know, like, in a scale of 1 to 5 how you enjoyed it, and had a little text box for you to put comments of how it could be improved and stuff like that. So they definitely really took the initiative with the whole beta testing and everything, and allowing people to give them their input, and then, you know, take that to heart and make changes and just make it an overall better game.
Oh yeah, you want to keep, what company would not want to keep an open dialogue with their customer base? You know, it's I think it's appreciated by them for sure, and kind of our responsibility as gamers and fans of whatever series to let them know, you know, what's working for them, what's not working, what they think should be in the game and what shouldn't be, and stuff like that. But anyway, ZeniMax came in and said on their Facebook page, "This article sums up the current state of our first-person and third-person view most accurately. Check it out." And what they linked was an article from Elder Scrolls Off the Record, which they posted back in October of last year.
I think it was November.
October,
was it?
yeah.
Wow.
It was October 22nd, 2012 when this article was posted. And you read down the article, and this is what it said when it came to first person. And this is a direct quote. Again, guys, whenever we're quoting articles directly, the links are always in the description below. Alright? As of right now, the game does have first-person perspective, but it's similar to the traditional first-person point of view you would see in any other MMO, which is less than ideal. During the summit, QGN staff members, as well as other attendees, repeatedly told ZeniMax that they wanted a true, functional first-person view. And as the event went on, the company's reception towards fully implementing that idea seemed to warm. Statements were made regarding the fact that putting in arms and weapons that are currently equipped would be an easy feature to add to the game and wouldn't require any rebalancing of systems already in place. So I actually like what was just said there. And for those of you who are wondering, well, Shoddycast, why didn't you quote this article instead of the Matt Foyer interview? Well, guys, this article was posted last year.
Yeah,
and
we're going chronologically, so we go with the most recent stuff, since, you know, things are always changing.
Right. As broadcasters, we have to go with whatever's the latest news source, and what the latest thing out there on First Person was that Penny Arcade interview with Matt Fyroor. And that was...
like a week before we made that recording?
That was a week. The exact date was January 30th, 2013. That was the date that interview hit. So definitely our most recent information. And that was the article where he said, you won't be able to see your hands. But here's ZeniMax on their Facebook page, which is now the most recent information because they just linked this a couple days ago from when you're watching this, is that they're actually seeming to warm up to the idea. So what this says to me is that first person is very much, well, true test first person, remember that's what we're talking about here. True test first person is very much up in the air right now, and they're still thinking about it. The great thing about having this game still, because this game is very much still in its development, you know, the beta's not even out yet. The great thing about having this game still in development is that, you know, we as fans still have a say of what happens in the game before it hits the shelves. So obviously we're going to want to keep that open dialogue with them and let them know, yeah, we would like this in the game. I was so glad to see that the QGN staff members, a shout out for those guys and the other attendees that were repeatedly telling ZeniMax that it was an important function of the game for them was to have that first person view. So yeah, Stendar's blessings. But yeah, anyway, to sum this up though, it fills me with hope, right? It's still very much up in the air right now, and they're deciding whether or not they want to put it in. I hope they arrive at the right decision. I think they will. I mean, ZeniMax, you know, they repeatedly tell us that they want this to be an Elder Scrolls game, but online. And I mean, even in their introduction trailer, they were talking about how this is supposed to bring the MMO crowd and the test crowd together, you know, and beautiful matrimony with each other. And you know, I think I speak for us both. Like we agree with them, and we take them at their word that they really are aiming to do that.
Well, yeah, and that's just, I'm surprised they hadn't thought of putting it in, like that was one of their key features to put in, is TES first person, because that is such an integral part of the single player aspect of the TES universe. Why wouldn't you put that in to the MMO? Obviously, we know third person in an MMO setting is standard, but for those that want that first person experience while going through the world, collecting herbs and whatever else, you know, outside of combat and everything, a lot of people are going to want that first person immersion within the game, so why not put it in there?
Yeah, it's all about good marketing, you know? I mean, for a game who's all about bringing that MMO crowd and test crowd together, to leave a part out of the game that's so important to one part of that crowd is a big deal. But we think that they'll make the right call and be able to accommodate both the MMO enthusiasts and the long-standing TES fans, you know, by giving us the strategic third-person perspective to stay competitive in an MMO and in a competitive multiplayer environment, but to also include the true TES first-person, you know, that we've grown to love over the years from immersing ourselves in Tamriel.
And I just want them to, instead of posting links and stuff, to just come out and say, are you working on it?
Yeah, and
let us know. If you are having problems with it, you could still let us know, because at least then we'll know for sure that you are working on it and trying to get it into the game. Just give us some feedback. We need to know if it's in there or not. Throw us a bone, please.
They're playing their cards very close to the chest, which I can see why a developer would want to do that with a game that's early in its development. But yeah, I mean, just keep open communication with the fans. If you're just still thinking about adding a true TES first person in the game, just come out and say it. Let us know. You know, keep that. The worst thing is to not know and just be left in the dark as fans. It's because we're passionate. We wouldn't be going out and doing things like this if we weren't passionate about the game. We want it to succeed. And then there was something else we wanted to talk about?
Yeah, while I got you guys' attention, I just wanted to bring up the whole closed beta thing to you guys. I know quite a few of you have not done a beta before, because a lot of you have not actually played an MMO before. But they do have these beta testing things, and there's different stages of beta testing. So you've had the alpha testing, which is usually testing within the company itself. They're still testing things out, making sure mechanics work and whatnot. But then there's the closed beta that comes out after that, which allows people from outside the company to then test the game, but with a non-disclosure agreement and stuff, and also they limit what you can do within the beta. So unlike open beta, where anyone can go in and just do whatever they want within the game pretty much, usually there'll be time limits and stuff, but in closed beta they're going to give you specific tasks they want you to test. So it can be like they want you to go to this one zone, test out this one quest, or even just talk to this one NPC and make sure that it's working. And that's basically what they're going to do. So developers are going to have a set schedule of things they want you to do. They'll tell you from this time and this time, please go here and do whatever it is they want you to do. They may have you just test out character creation. making different characters and stuff like that. So just don't expect, if you do get selected for the closed beta, don't expect to just be able to immediately go out into the world and do what you want to do, because it's not going to happen.
Right. As much as we want it to, it's just not going to happen. And you mentioned the non-disclosure agreement. Can you explain to those who might not have participated in betas in the past, they might not know what that is?
Yeah, an NDA, obviously there's going to be certain things you are allowed to talk about and stuff, but for the most part they will not let you take screenshots or video of your gameplay. I know for, I think, Guild Wars 2, they actually had our emails just plastered across the screen so that if you did take video, they would know exactly who it was from. You couldn't get rid of the watermarks. That's what they were. They were watermarks.
Yeah.
So, so when they had this NDA agreement, basically just means you're not allowed to talk about the game. I mean, some could be really strict and they won't even let you mention that you're even testing at all. So even if you do get invited to it, you can't say that you were. So we may be in it right now.
Yeah.
We may be testing it right now.
Right.
You guys just don't even know because we're not allowed to say anything.
Yep.
We're not, but we're just saying. Or maybe we are.
Wink, wink. No. They're really going to think we are. We're not. We're totally not.
So that's just your NDA thing. Just be careful of what you say. Make sure you read it, because you do have to actually, well, not physically sign it, but you do have to check and say that you did read it all. And so if you do happen to say something, if you do happen to take a screenshot and spread it around, they can take legal action on you.
Yeah. You got to be real careful with that.
So be careful about that whole thing and just make sure you read it. Read your NDA. And also, if you're a minor, your parents have to agree to it. And if your little 15-year-olds out there saying, oh, they can't do anything to me, they can to your parents because they were the ones that had to agree to the agreement for you.
Yeah, so don't use it as an opportunity to get back at mom and dad, because those things are serious. Those things are serious business.
Yes.
Alright.
So that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about beta.
Cool.
Poop shoot.
Poop shoot.
Poop shoot.
Is that a code word for we covered everything we want to talk about? Time to close the episode?
No, just a random word I wanted to throw in here and see if you'd edit it out.
Oh. Well, yeah. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
Alright, so this has been the Shoddy Cast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to like the video. It helps us out. And, yeah, I have been Josh.
And I've been Kyle.
We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Wait! Ah! Tune in tomorrow for the first episode ever of the Elder Scrolls lore series.
Dun dun dun!
It's going to be epic. Tamriel, Dawn's beauty in the language of the Altmer, or Tazukan in the Dragon's Tongue, is the continent upon which all the Elder Scrolls games take place. Home to many diverse races and even more conflicts, Tamriel has been host to many adventures. You've experienced Tamriel in your own way, but want to learn more about its story. Well, to get to the heart of the story, you have to go back to the beginning.